Hey guys, it's Tartan coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. We're here in the world. You know it. You love it. It's the only world we see anymore. I don't have any plans. I just wanted to chill. Just do my thing. So why not start out with some inventory management, everyone's favorite thing. Now, why would we put this junk in particular here? We wouldn't. There's no excuse for it. We shouldn't. We shouldn't do it. We should plant this flower out here. That's a good spot. I knew there was some reason we would do this. I guess we'll cook some more pork chops. That's the thing you could do. And then, you know, you show up and you got more pork chops somehow. That's all you gotta do. Hey, Sid. Welcome to the stream. It's not much, but it's honest work. I didn't really have any plans, so I think what we'll do is work on archaeology. That's a good thing to do. You know, the study of the past can often inform what we do. Do we need to mend first? Yes, technically, yes. Vaporwave sheep having a good time. And we don't really have enough carrots, do we? Shameful. What? No, pick that up. Okay, there we go. Fortunately. Oh no! Oh no, no. Okay. Alright, we accidentally hit him a little bit, but it's alright. It's alright. I thought we might have to fight a golem or Bale, right? But it looks like he's not that mad about it. I should name one of the sheep Jib. Alright. Let me find a name tag. I'm sure we have one laying around somewhere. Capital J with an underscore after the B specifically. Got it. Looks like it's plausible enough that we've got one sitting around in here, but certainly I know I have emeralds enough to just buy them. And really, I don't know where I would even keep a name tag. Like, there's no place that's semi-logical for it, so it would have to be somewhere dumb. Probably in like a shulker. I said I was giving up, but now I'm not. In like a bundle. It's just very surprising that I don't have a name tag somewhere. It doesn't matter. I'll go buy one. Where is Jorge Luis Borges, for I much desire to speak with him? You're not him. Hey, Borges! My man. I'm sure when Jorge Luis Borges died, in 1986. He thought, one day there will be a game called Minecraft, and some dude there will name a librarian after me. Oh no! He turned green. Are copper golems born wicked, or do they have wickedness thrust upon them by the oxidation? After all, he had a copper block. He had a pumpkin block. As so many golems do. They are incredibly adorable. Oh, the anvil here broke. That's right, I remember that vaguely in an insincere way where I only remember it whenever I have to. Alright, how about this one? Jib! We did it! And now the sheep's name is Jeb. Huzzah. They took our Jib! We'll say if anyone ever steals our sheep. He's supposed to turn rainbow? Is the underscore supposed to be part of the name? Or is there like a space and I wrote the underscore down? We can buy another name tag and try. But they're supposed to turn into a rainbow, you say? Wake up, Borges. I need another name tag. Alright, we intended to mend. Mending's good enough there. I mean, not for the shovel, but we shouldn't need too much shoveling here. Get a bit of gunpowder real quick. Clean. One shot, really? Hey, Neo. Happy New Year. Yes, it is also not quite for me yet. It is a mere 10:57. But it's all part of it, right? You know, I don't know, like, I don't know where people get off thinking that the year happens at a different time. It's, you know, cultural chauvinism. I'm like, why don't we pick the first place in the universe that the year happens and let them celebrate it? I'm doing alright. Did a Hades 2 run and made a little progress towards this last achievement, which, you know, is definitely one that you're supposed to do over the course of hours and hours, because it involves, you know, each time you progress one step is like talking to a person that you can only talk to there. Although I guess, you know, maybe you can do them in, because there are trials that only do like one of the one act, right? Like they give you a special set of items or whatever with synergy, and then you try to, you know, do just, you know, that one. So maybe I could do that to try to get the conversations, but I don't know if that works. Could be worth a shot. What? Look! Look! You want to go, buddy? You're very brave. You call yourself a knight. Haha! He can't get, like, dude, I used to play Mountain Blade Warband. You think I'm afraid of a zombie? Yeah! You know, I bet. Yeah, I think. So the spears are velocity based, but you know, they're certainly like additive too. So I think if you just sit still, let them come to you and hit them, you'll be fine. All right, next question, buddy. Want some rotten flesh to eat or something? No? Can I ride him? Yeah, I've never seen one before, but I haven't played a whole lot in this update. And of course we can make saddles now out of leather, but maybe you need string too? I don't know. I thought I had a saddle somewhere. Shows what I know. Oh, right, an iron ingot. Sure. Apparently the first bit of iron I've picked up since the patch, which lets me know that we could also make a spear ourselves. Say it's been a while since you played both. Yeah, you know, it's a nice time. And the copper golems are really cool, and especially if you're like somewhat proactive about your organization of your boxes, you know, because people used to, I haven't seen one, but I've been told that they build like very complicated, you know, like computers inside of the game that sort all of their stuff, and now you can just like get some copper golems to do it. All right. The horse might have disappeared. And this skeleton's gonna, like, think I'm afraid of him because I'm running away. Which is embarrassing and false. I just wanted to steal one of your finest horses. Get wrecked. You never had me, you never had your car. Oh, he fell down. Oh, he fell down again. Shame. Of course, it's easy to be brave when you can get hit like 9 times and not take any damage. Hey, Evan. Happy New Year, Chong. Happy New Day, Minecraft World. Alright, so in conclusion, zombie horse is pretty cool, relatively green. It's probably not that easy being a zombie horse that's green. We would have to ask them. I wonder if they burn up in the sun? These are questions. This creeper won't, though. Nor will that one. Trying to get a little bit of shade. Alright, let's get rid of this junk and then go do something else. Okay, you would put an item frame on a chest and then indicate what to put in there. Yeah, if only I were capable of being so organized. In my vault, I have, like, some junk on the ground in front of the chest that sort of loosely indicates what should be inside, right? Like, this one is for, like, dirt and stuff, and that means plants. This one is for, like, you know, rocks and stuff, and that means cobblestone. This one, you know, you get your sand and things. Here you get wood, unless you don't, maybe a little bit of copper. Here's just, like, junk. Here's gold and iron and bone, so, you know, you get, like, all the ender pearls, all the trim, you know. This is where you find your rails, unless you don't. This one says amethyst, so you find, you know, mud there. Good spot for it, that kind of thing. And then, of course, all of these chests, which have one thing in them. So, you know, if I ever need to find my potato, or my wind charge, or my single dandelion, I can go there. It's not a very good system. Hey, Liam. How are you? No, there's this, I guess there used to be comics, and maybe there's like a show. It's called Richie Rich, and I only know it from, like, the VHS, so this movie would have come out in, like, the 90s, but anyway, he's, like, a rich kid, but one of the employees tries to, like, rob the family or whatever, and, like, they get into the rich family vault, which is in Mount Richmore, which is, like, a mountain with their faces on it. It's all very funny, right? And then, right, we were gonna name the sheep. And then the guy's like, Where's all the money? And the guy's like, in banks, stocks, bonds, you know, various mutual funds. Because he gets in the vault and it's just like a bunch of memorabilia that he likes. And I always think like that would be like if somebody robbed my Minecraft base. They'd be like, well, where's all the money? Where's the gold, the jewels, the cash? And I'm like, oh, did you see all the bookshelves that I've got on the wall? Alright, so lowercase with an underscore. Let's give Hank some eats. Good old Hank the cow dog. He's a good dog. But first, we must kill the false Jeb. Many must suffer for him. Alright. Now this orange sheep, who's even Jebber than other Jeb. Wait, what? Oh, that's cool. And he consistently goes through all the different colors of the rainbow? That is cool. And you can, like, can you, like, shear the wool on, like, the orange frame and get, like, an orange wool out of him? Look, Neo, you're not gonna catch me getting sentimental about a sheep, okay? I'm not a fan of them. You know, to inspire the other sheep to not take a name tag that's not theirs, you know, sometimes you have to take reasonable measures. We don't need any of this stuff in here. We could throw the mutton there. Naming Vindicator's Johnny? No, stop. Oh, I think I made that joke one day, and somebody said you could do that. I remember now. Yeah, because I was in like a woodland mansion, and you know, because I've seen The Shining before, I did the bit, and then somebody said that you could actually do a thing. That'd be fun, because I could have a butler. We could take over a whole thing, because I always call them the butler, because they walk in so obsequious that they pull out the hatchet and go all bashy mode, right? So if we had like a fake woodland mansion, we could get a guy in there and... Yeah, then Silksong can be like that, man. A very frustrating time. But I think like a very, very satisfying experience all the same. I've got a little off on the angle. Here's this little wheat field. You know, it's not much, but it keeps the bandits down. There used to be a tower there, but who's the pillager now? It's like there's a place to fall. It doesn't matter. Dr. Jones and Indiana are hard at work. Alright, so what do we want to do here? Just dig the wall back some. Yeah, and then more of this here. Oh. Yeah. Dude, get in front of me one more time. There is no one in the world more disrespectful to my time than a wandering trader. At least when a villager gets in my way, he lives there. and you get this shiftless charlatan selling snake oil at who knows what price, coming in telling you he's gonna sell your son a sousaphone, and what does he really do? Hits on the librarian, sings 3 songs, tries to skip town. I've seen it all before. You just say that they're underrated. Well, maybe they meant for like one specific reason. I think one of my buddies at work was explaining to me that in that Skyblock thing, you can use them to, you know, generate, you know, stuff or whatever. I've never played Skyblock, but I have a vague idea that it exists, and it involves being on a block, you know, underground or something. Or also some super flat thing, which, just like the name suggests, is actually very jagged and full of mountains, unless it isn't. They are the worst mob in the game for a wheat field, because they'll just show up, and then they have 3 pairs of feet tramping out your brain, and I'm like, look, couldn't you have gotten a boat? Or changed to spectator mode? And then I hit them repeatedly with whatever happens to be in my hand, usually a wheat seed. Sometimes people are like, man, how did you get to 800 days? And I'm like, oh, I spent like 100 days carving a canal. And sometimes I just knock holes in rock walls. Like, it's easy to play a lot of Minecraft if you do this with your time. Yeah, he was ready the whole time. He's like, oh, it's getting dark. I think as soon as everybody goes to bed, he's gonna hit me. Anything good in the slab area? Oh, yeah. But if memory serves, so you found it like a different way than I would have found it. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah. So like, you know, there's some areas in the game that you can get in different ways, and you can't access all of them from whatever way. So, you know, I don't actually know how the slab works getting into it from a different way. But you know, the important thing is when you dig out like a nice big wall, then you can put up a glass wall for the river for your archaeology exhibit that you look at briefly and then walk away from. We really should fix them, but that would require like effort and mud, the appropriate colors of terracotta. You know, it's easier to just dig a hole in the wall and think about doing all of that someday, like never. All right. We should go in that way from the top, I think. Are we? Yeah, and here's of course this cobblestone chest, which is running out of water. Surely there's another one somewhere. Yeah, another chest to put junk into. You can really never have enough of these. You really, because what if you're somewhere and you're like, man, if only I had some dirt and or cobblestone. You'd look like a fool if you didn't have it, right? It's like whenever I was working on the lake this last time, right? I was like, man, I like need some dirt. I need some kelp. I'm like, what am I talking about? Just like go look for a chest on the ground somewhere in this river or lake, and I will definitely find it. And I did. There's thousands of kelp here. How many kelps do I have? Let's check. I mean, we picked up 13,000 of them. But we've used, you know, some. So we, you know, 9,000 kelp. So, you know, a few chests worth of them. These are such small numbers. We have killed 1,142 cow. You have never been killed by cow. Alright, we just need to grab some glass here, and then what? Just continue on? I mean, yeah, guess that's the answer. Putting in some extra ones in won't hurt. We've got to have some glass here, right? Right, yeah, on the wall of furnaces. No. Wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. It's almost like you're having the exact experience I have with Silksong. Alright, we need glass. It's possible it's up there. Whoa, boy. It's not really the spin we were looking for. Well, and of course more dirt chests and more cobblestone chests and no sand. We can get terracotta and dye it, but do we just need... Just fly home and get sand. Just look in one of these chests for that. Nope, not finding it. 60 blue wool. Why is that here? Oh, for beds. That makes sense. Oh, Evan, Wanderer's Crest is at the bottom left of the map as you start. Do you know where the wormways are? So where the elevator is, right, by Bone Bottom, you take the elevator up. You need a simple key to get through there. You go across the left, which I did super early in my run from the elevator spot. There's a couple of bells hanging in the sky. You go over there. There might be an alternate way in. There's like a little mini boss thing that can be a little frustrating until you get the timings there. If you can dash and run, you might be able to just go past him. I didn't have dash whenever I beat him. And then you go through. You find a way to go down. The wormways can be a little annoying. And then you'll drop down. There'll be like a chapel. You'll just keep going left, and then you'll open up some other stuff that is there. But yeah, it's on the level of where that first town is, but you can't get there without going over into the wormways and dropping down. And then you'll like open up a wall to get there. I'll wave my hand around. That'll be very helpful. But I think you need the simple key, but you could... It's possible that you can go in backwards. I just don't know. Because I got there, I used a very cool movement tech, because you know, like on the first game, the first day that it came out, right, I figured it out, so I was very proud of me. But with the Reaper's Crest where you do the diagonal thing, right, there's an enemy, and when you go into the room, it starts circling one of it, and you can get it to move over, pogo off of it to get over, and then there's another movement you can do to get over all the way to the left. And so I actually did it before I learned to dash, and then I got the Wanderer's Crest and used it for the entire game. What was I doing? Getting more sand? Getting more sand. Not sand, glass. I was like, I got turned around. The other good thing about that wheat field is I always know that that's like the line to be on to get back home. The higher you go early, the better you can take a quick angle there, because you just need a little bit of one. There we go. You got busted? Maybe. But does it give you critical attacks? When I logged on Hades earlier, I was actually thinking of playing Silksong. I'm like, maybe I'll like try to speedrun it, you know, for the achievement. And I was like, you know, maybe do that tomorrow when you're ready to be in a bad mood. The downslash near is annoying to use. Yes, that is also true of the Wanderer's Crest, which is why I use it. Special thing, when you hit, you get a special thing till you get hit or die. Oh, cool. I guess I didn't know anything about that. I used it very briefly, like, when it gave it to me, and then, yeah, I just used Wanderer's Quest the whole time. I need to learn how to use the default crest. There's a part in the story later on where you have to use it, and let me tell you, I could not hit a thing to pogo off of. It was bad. I kept running over it. I just glass. We've got glass, right? Apparently not. Wow. That doesn't make sense. How could I have run out of all of it? We must have just moved it somewhere and forgotten. Well, there's 50. That's hardly enough, though. Yeah, well, we can cook it up whenever we get there. Yeah, I guess because there's an achievement that's like, get all the crests, and I'm like, you mean I didn't get all the crests? I guess there's some crests I didn't even find. But, I did get Wanderers, like I said, you know, like, before I learned to dash. Which, I was vaguely aware that that wasn't, like, the right way to go. But I went, like, backwards up, right, Evan? Like, I went to the left, hit the Wormways, went up from there, hit Shellwood, walked across into Bellheart, and then got to, you know, Greymoor. That was the last place on the top I got to, was that side. I went the opposite way in. And then once I got stuck up there, then I went down and went through those areas. Now, I did have the dash before then, though. So I didn't, like, entirely go. But when I got the dash, I went back over. Because I was like, oh, that place that I needed a dash to get further, now I can go. But I have so many percents left to do, and I have no idea where any of them are. I'm like, I thought I did everything in the game, and people are like, did you get this thing or this thing or this thing? I'm like, I don't even know what you mean. So they're like, you should go here, and then I go there, and like I don't find anything, and I leave, and then they're like, you have to do the thing. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's 7 crusts? Wow. Yeah, I definitely don't have a couple of them then. But I was thinking, I was like, I could do like a, what did we play in 2025 video? And I'm like, but wait, you don't know how to make videos. It would be, and then I started brainstorming, like, what would I do? I would get like still pictures of the games and click on them. I would make a slideshow. I'm not gonna do all that. I'm like, what, I just like stare at the camera and talk for 4 minutes without edits? I could do that. Hello, today for Show and Tell, I'm going to tell you about what I played on Steam and also Minecraft. But, you know, way more sincerely and without irony. And then I figured, well, if people cared about what I played, they could look. It's not a hidden repository. We'll just fill all these up with sand, even though there's not any coal for them. That sounds dumb. If this song had been out whenever I was in band, I would have got hollered at all the time to not play it on chimes at the beginning of the day whenever I showed up in the room. I was always playing stuff on chimes, and my band director was always like, can you stop playing Disarm by the Smashing Pumpkins every time? And I'm like, nope, can't do it. Don't ask me to stop being a man. Your cocoon is stuck in the void. Oh no, que mala fortuna. Can't do anything in there. You say especially focus on people. Well, I'm glad you approve. No, I liked them a whole lot when they were going on, and I still think they're pretty good. They've got a whole lot of songs that have both, like, you know, good sonic qualities, but also like powerful emotional cores to them, right? Incidentally, and this is true, the Smashing Pumpkins' greatest hits album, which is called Rotten Apples, I had it, and that was the first time that I remember hearing the song Landslide, by Fleetwood Mac, the Stevie Nicks soundtrack. And for like a little bit, I just thought the Smashing Pumpkins wrote it. And then either somebody told me or I read the liner notes. Still at the Over Malika run? Nice, nice. Oh, Mother, thank you. Yeah, she's just crotchety enough, just angry enough, and just order-aligned enough to be a good friend. A lot of common neighbors. Sea Life Worlds, hey, how's it going? You've retracted your message. I don't know what it said, but hello. You think there should be a Familiar Lord? Yes, Neo, so do I. However, I think without any information, y'all know I don't know anything, I think that Games Workshop told them they weren't allowed to. I think the Fimir Noble was meant to be a lord, and then they repackaged it. Oh, hey, Chase. I was like, I thought I recognized the icon kind of, but it's so hard for me to tell them apart. Hey, yeah, YouTube changed it to where I can't see the display names anymore, which is mega annoying, but I'm trying to remember the names that go with the usernames. I don't know why they took it away, but, they didn't consult with me about it. I'm sure they have a reason. I'm not sure that I would think it was good or not, which is probably why they didn't ask me. Because they don't care. Because, like, if I'm not mistaken, how the Fimir society works is really dark and messed up. But one part of it we can talk about is, like, I'm pretty sure they're, like, matriarchal, right? And so I don't know if, like, so, like, the Fimir are not, like, part of Norska, right? But, like, a Fimir might, like, help out or whatever, but, like, I don't think there are any, like, Fimir matriarch figures that ever go underneath another, like, person. So maybe GW is like, they don't make sense. Sort of like how a male caster in Kislev could be good, but I don't think Games Workshop will let them, because there's like a whole thing about like how, the Kislev won't let dudes do magic, which I care less about than the Fimir hero, which I would like to have, the monster side of Norska better represented. Say it's very impressive I've been playing this world for 800 days. Well, thank you, but like I was saying earlier, it's not that impressive. Most of the time we're just digging holes in the wall. We need more chests here to put the... Here we go. I'm like, don't I have more? I do. Look at... Of course. I was like, I bet if I just look around, I'll find even more random chests to put stuff into. And I did. I'm a genius. Alright, this is... Alright, decisions. We could build a whole glass wall there, and then just sand up what's in between, drop it, and have a clear shot to the river. We can continue on with this incredibly messy, amateurish, terraced look that looks like a person who wasn't thinking about it, started it, and then continued. Well, that does have a charm all of its own, although as a plan, I admit it doesn't sound good. Say when you play with your friends, you have to keep busy or else the world will die. Well, you know, I totally get that. There's a world that my friends and I are playing in, but I don't play on it all the time. I could play on it more. I find Bedrock very frustrating. I find Bedrock very, very frustrating. And, so I was kind of like, you know... And plus, like, all my pets are here. You know, the crime family's here in this world. I was like, you know, why not just, Alright, so if we just build, like here across... And then we'll go underneath it. On the inside and bash it all down. And then we can trim it further if we like, which we very well may like. Because this is gonna look terrible. Why am I doing this? We're gonna see how it looks. That's why we're doing it. We're gonna see if it is as bad as I think it's gonna be. That'll be important information somehow. Chase, thank you. You know, you remembered that I've always liked to be described that way, and no one ever did it. And I complained one day, and you're the only person. Section of interest in your regard. Yeah, you know, that is a problem. That's like my first thing whenever I'm anywhere in that game. It's like, if I can't get a map, like, the only thing I worry about is how to get enough benches. Like, I don't even like to think that I'm doing anything at all until we get a bench. Excuse me. Well, you know, it does work. Is it going to look good? Irrelevant. Can't believe you asked that. Who cares? It's gonna work. The answer is no, it probably isn't going to look very good, but we could work on that. You know, we can make it look better. We might be able to make it look better. We could certainly trim down all the extra ones without hurting anything later on. Look, archaeology isn't a science. It's a guy who wanted to mess around in college, getting onto a hot air balloon, and rescuing a woman from a mummy. That's what archaeology is. It's not about having a plan. It's not about best practices. It's about getting into a small single-engine World War I plane with the woman that you rescued in the first movie, listening to your brother-in-law complain. That's what being an archaeologist is. And I know you're saying that guy wasn't an archaeologist, it was his wife that was. I know that too. I've seen The Mummy. Obviously. Chase, you say, how have I kept busy for 800 days in this world? Like this, you know? Digging holes in the wall. No, not just like this. Various projects. I built a river and a lake. That was very fulfilling. Not this river. God, I wish my river looked this good. But yeah, the river and the lake, I would say those are my very big projects. Oh, I built a canal. A really big canal. We had to bring in some members of the crime family from very far away. Tyro, Kevin, heavy stack for 12.5 stacks of Norskins. Nice, nice. The wheat farm, that's in a different world. I have some wheat here. It's merely some. But yeah, no, the wheat is not in this world. Oh, I couldn't bear it if I lost all my wheat. You know, actually, it might end up looking good. I mean, not really good, just a little bit. You know, if we use Silk Touch, we can pick them up again. Alright, we definitely can't see if we need them or not. But they'll be able to look up at the majesty of the river, and that is, after all, the entire point of this. Hey, Chase. Well, good evening, Happy New Year. So you're probably doing more streams, just not a big fan of Total War. Fair enough, you know. I try to play a mix of things, but I do tunnel vision pretty hard on whatever I'm into at whatever given moment. But it's good to see you, and I'll see you around. You forgot to save the replay. Alas, alas. Yeah, I totally know what you're going through, man. But what I realized after a bit was because I was trying to run through, like, with my impatience to get back to my cocoon, it was like I just needed to learn how to do the enemies better, and then, like, make myself be patient. So I ended up usually just dying, even though I knew better. If something requires patience and, like, judicious action, is it likely I'm going to do it well? Well, not likely. Likely isn't the right word. Virtually a dead certainty that it won't happen? Yes, that is better. A much better way of describing things. You're wondering what my near future backlog of games looks like. Well, I've been wondering about that too, because I've been looking for something new to play, thinking of something new to play. Because I was just finished up Silksong, and I just finished. There's a game called Nine Souls, which is like a Metroidvania that I was probably going to do soon. And then I was thinking of playing Portal, actually. Somebody brought it up, and I was like, yeah, you know, I think I've lied to people before and told them I played Portal, but I definitely haven't, so that could be fun. And then I keep on saying that I'm going to play Baldur's Gate 3, and I really do intend to do a run, because I feel like that could be a lot of fun for me. I've played it before for like a couple hundred hours, so it wouldn't be like a totally blind thing, but I feel like I would have a lot to say about the game. I have a lot of respect for it, and I would really like to, you know, sort of share my thoughts about it in long, unedited, and incredibly prolix form with others, so I've been meaning to get started on that. Claire's Expedition 33. Yeah, that was the one. Okay, yeah. So I've got that on my wish list. I was gonna buy it, but then honestly I was waiting for the new year. So this is going to sound silly or not, but if I buy it in January, it'll show up in my budget as an entertainment thing for January. And so earlier this month in December, I bought tickets to go see Wicked, right? So my entertainment budget is already like where December is supposed to be. So I wasn't trying to get more stuff into the budget, right? Even though it's just like out of one pocket into the other one. But, because that one did come highly recommended. I almost got it when it came out and it was the new hotness. I just ended up not getting it. Then I was doing something. I don't remember what. Seem like a French type of entertainment enjoyer? Yeah, sure, you know. I love their novels. Poets are frequently very good. I like several of their nationally regarded musicians. Not so much on like the classical front, but like Edith Piaf, you know, stuff like that. Love me some Edith Piaf. Hey, TesterTube. Anyway, good night, Chase. The Clockwork Dancers are the best fight. Oh no, you ran in there. Oh man, well, it's the best fight with the greatest music, but Right now, we are making a glass wall chest or tube for this little ruin thing that we've got, right? So we drained it, and we got a cat and a dog to run everything. We named the dog Indiana, naturally, and now basically, and you know, we built a village in there, and then we restored some of it, but you know, not all. But we dug it out. We gave the little mud floor there, and we were working on putting some of the buildings back together. You know, it used to be in less repair than that. It's still not perfect, but you know, a little bit going. But yeah, so we're making this glass wall so that they can look up or out at the river, and you know, and see the river. That's the idea. But I think either we could just drop like 2 more down, right? And then just do a flat wall across there. That seems fine. And we'll have that other barrier there, and then we'll just build the glass wall up and then fill it in as we need. Yes, I know, Evan. Like I said, I did quit it lots of times. Not over dying in the coral chambers, though. But everyone finds a different crux, right? A different problem in the rock climbing of life. I'm so fast and graceful. We definitely got to the forest. All right. Hanging trees are, of course, a great disgrace. My contribution to my friend's multiplayer world was really just going around and finding some places that obviously some trees had been cut down and not replanted and planting them, and then going some places where there were hanging trees, cutting them down the rest of the way, and then replanting. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my good turn daily. That's my I used to be a Boy Scout move. them down. We need to trim these away because they might be just close enough to that wood that they won't fall down. 'Cause it doesn't have to be touching, it just has to be like a few away from a wood spot. Now, Phil Creeper Holes, get out of here, Luke. Sometimes I feel the very bottom of them. Yeah, Liam's giving you some good advice, buddy. Hey, you know, it's hard for me to remember too, but you know, sometimes if a game is stressing you out and you take a little bit of a break, you can come back with a fresh attitude and do a lot better. And sometimes all you want to do is quit the game over it anyway, if you're me. Alright, so the problem is the underside is going to be this jagged insanity. It doesn't actually look that bad. I mean, it does. It doesn't look that bad. It does. It's terrible. It's fine. I don't care. We could fix it someday. We're never going to fix it. We could, though. The end goal of this project, to look pretty and then to never come back again and then to fly over it occasionally and say, look what we did. But yeah, just to recreate the trail ruin as it may have once been, you know, to use the information that we get from what previously existed to try to recreate the archaeological site, to, you know, bring the village here and restore it to its former glory. And, you know, to, ideally to make it look cool. Because the idea was, oh, they'll be able to, like, study the river, they'll go under here and look up at it. And then they'll be able to look. So in my survival world, I dug one out, but I didn't do a very good job of preserving it. Fireworks. It's like if someone's knocking on my door, I'm gonna ignore them. You know, if we did it instead of like a single terrace, like bigger blocks of it, maybe that would be better. Maybe it would be slightly better. Oh no. Well, that went just how I thought it might. Awkward answer first attempt. Well, good luck. Well, you know, it definitely looks like something. It's, it certainly looks better from the sky than it does from underneath. What if we could just push it the whole way back, right? Just push this whole top way back to like here, square it up right there. Yeah, yeah. What's up, little dude? Yeah, it's gonna be a million times better. Why? Because it'll be regular looking and not totally haphazard. Alright, now it's time. Ooh. We need more sand. I think we burned too much of it. Let me just square it here too, yeah. Man, the way Minecraft music can just kick in at the perfectly right time, you know. You wake up with a new day. The rain of the thunderstorm ceases. And then a new perfect song comes on the radio. I think we burned too much sand and now we need more. We could get it from the riverbed, but you know, nah, I'm in 100 sand. That's not really enough, is it? I'll get it from the riverbed over here. You can tell we've already been here, huh? Oh no, there's an underneath area that hadn't been knocked into until the sand fell, I think. Alright, plenty of sand. Just like the good old days. Man, whenever I was training my underwater monument in my survival world before I started playing with Monsters On and got bored of that project, I used to spend some time doing this, sure, and I did. Clumsy. You messed up your hand? Ah, man. Yep, I definitely know those worries. I think when I started it, I was like, if it doesn't look good, I'll just drain it and square it off. You know, at least now I know that it won't look good if I ever want to do this again, right? Yeah. Setting back river conservation efforts 1,000 years. Yeah, let's just mess up the river right where they can look at it. Bye, Liam. Happy New Year. Glad I could see you as well. Maybe I'll catch you some other time. I'll be around. No, Clockwork Dancers, I almost, I almost wished I hadn't beaten them so I could still be fighting them to this day. What a great fight. Oh, tip though, you want your sand block to be under the water level when you place it because it takes slightly more time for it to fall if it's above it. I think this is even true. Put too much sweet in your coffee. Oh no, a terrible thing. I almost always drink my coffee black these days, but every now and then I'll put some sugar in. I had the worst coffee ever at work last night. Like, I got it, I took a sip, I almost like spat it out. I was like, "Bleh!" And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna drink it though. Oh, we got rid of all of the glass on us. Well, that's not wise. What if we needed more? Just got a coffee maker trying to figure out the balance of everything. Yeah, it can be tricky. I use a French press, of course. But I, No, what? No, where is it? I have mislaid my sword. Okay. We just need to... Maybe it's in a box. Oh, man. Just please be in a box. Hey, there we are. All right. Crisis averted. Oh, man. I got it. That would have been... It would have taken a little bit of time. I mean, I could have got another one. It just, you know, it would have taken a little bit of time. I lost a shulker on this world a really long time ago. I left it on the ground on Mushroom Island. Because I'd flown out there. I was trying to bring him back and like fly him out, but I couldn't yet, right? And then I was just like, whatever, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna build a canal. And then, you know, I did, but I also left my shulker there. And I didn't notice for like a while. Evan, not in like a mean way, but you gotta let me know what you feel about Blightwater once you get there. Because that's the place I quit the game like 10 times over. There's a place in the Citadel where it's like not too tricky to farm up a decent amount of rosaries. You can get like 30 off of these big guys, but in the early game I had this one bench that's up in the first zone up there by the elevator. You just go right, kind of. There's a bench, and then like there's like an open door, but there's like 3 guys right outside of it. Just two, and you get like 10 rosaries. But I would just like run, get those guys, go right back to the bench over and over, and that's how I would get money for the stuff I needed money for. I do hate that you lose the money when you die. I think it punishes people that are learning and doesn't do anything to people that are experienced. But you know, I was complaining about it to somebody, and they're like, well, you know, it's probably how they wanted the game to be played. I'm like, yeah, but... And they're like, well... You know, they could have just made it easier all around. I'm like, you're not listening to me. I just want a button to say, don't take my money when I die. Much better. Now, does it totally make sense? No, not totally. And we'll probably need to do some work, you know, with stairs and logical stuff, you know, cut down this thing so you can see more of it, obviously. Water can be so annoying sometimes. I'm like, no, don't have me horizontal. I just want to go down. They're like, nope, nope, best I can do is leaning. You know, if we were gonna make it regular, we could have done it all along and it would have been quicker, but whatever. Do I look like the kind of guy with a plan? Well, that went well enough. Yeah, well, it actually looks pretty solid from the air now. We just need something. I don't want to do a total duplicate of my other place. We need to build something there that looks better, right? Like a continuation, like another tower in this direction. I don't know. Looks better square. Yeah, I think so too. Because the other one, it was just so busy, you know, in the different angles, and then when you're underneath it, you see all like the jagged, you know, it didn't look like a place that would exist, you know. Which obviously I'm not going for total verisimilitude here, but you know, there wouldn't just be like some glass blocks away, right? Some blocks on the inside, of course, the frame. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think what we need something more that's like on the inside that's closer there, you know, like build some fake tables, like some nice little flowers, like a place that looks like, you know, villagers can congregate or whatever. Because right now it's just like, hey, there's the wall there, and then it's just, you know, stone, granite, and then eventually the rest of the stuff. So I feel like, you know, even if we lay down, you know, some mud bricks, just, you know, there's a lot of stuff that could make it look a little better. I haven't video captured that. Well, you know, I know where you're coming from, but let me relate to you a thing I used to do on the Dreamcast. I had NFL 2K1, and sometimes I would be playing with like my brother or my friends, and I would get so mad. I would be like, no, I wasn't out of bounds. Let's check the replay. And I would get on the replay and I would show that the camera clearly showed that I didn't step out of bounds when they called the play. And they were like, well, the game said you did, and you can't appeal a play. This is back before you could appeal a play in the pros. I don't know if you can appeal them in the games. That'd be funny. But yeah, sometimes the hitboxes are just what you don't expect it to be. On the final fight of Act 3, there's this attack, and the hitbox is like this big, but the attack is this big, and some part of it's are this big. But, you know, you just gotta figure out why it thinks you got hit. It's Doug! Oh, who's a good Doug? It's you, Doug. Happy New Year, Inosa. And the Mooshes! Ah, Mooshy Smalls. Baby Moosh. Together, of course, they are the songwriting and rapping duo. We almost never use this door anymore. Really came up in here without seeds. Shameful. Do I not have any? There's no way. A seed for the boss. Good old Garuda. Doug Bushman. That would be a fun thing to get. Well, I'm glad you could be here. I know. So yeah, we are getting to the end. You know, it's midnight 35, but good old Atropa, the blade in the dark. Bella Consigliere. Wise as where it's powerful. Mr. Pump doing his job. More seeds for Garuda. Well, you know, some nice work done. And, you know, this is how you churn those days forward, right? We're on day like 808 now. We lay down, it's going to be day 809. Getting to that big 1000, right? But all of that said, I invite you to listen to the national anthem with me, Other Side by Lena Raine. Sit, stand, kneel, or dance to the national anthem. Luca and I will dance. But, you know, thank all of you for being here. It's a nice time. Sorry I'll miss your literal New Year, Luke, but, you know, I'll be around tomorrow, playing whatever. You know, it's been a good year. You know, you never want to be like, this has been the best year of my life. Because what if some woman you were in love with like 20 years ago is like, what about me? And I'm like, I didn't think you were going to show up. I was worried about the one from 13 years ago. I wasn't thinking about you at all whenever I said that. And, but it's been a good year for me. You know, I'm in the same place as when I started, only better. Basically nothing new happened. I just played new games, some of the best games I've played in my whole life. In the song The New Year by Death Cab for Cutie, Ben Gibbard sings, "So this is the new year, well I don't feel any different." And it's a bitter song, right? But if you had a good year, the explosions in the distance only promise more of the same. Not that the world is a good place. It isn't. But there's a comic I saw once upon a time. A person was planting flowers and someone comes up to them and they say, you know, why are you planting flowers? Can't you see that the world is falling apart? You know, they go on about the more specifics of it. And the person says, I think the world would be a better place if I planted flowers, so I'm going to plant flowers. It wasn't a funny comic. But anyway. Maybe I'll plant flowers this year. The sun rises on day 809, but we'll deal with that on a later day. Good year. hopefully I'll have many more just like this one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed. I appreciate all of you very much. And I hope you believe me when I tell you. But good night, Liam. Good night, Luke. Good night, Evan. Good night, Enosa. Good night, Sid. Good night, Chase. I think you already left. But good night, everyone. Maybe I'll see you later on. I'm going to bed, but I'll be up tomorrow. We're gonna play a game tomorrow that I've never played before, or that I've never played before on stream. I just don't know which game it's gonna be yet, but we're gonna do it. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, but I do believe in trying something briefly every now and then in January. So I'll play one new game, and maybe I'll buy like a flavor of yogurt I haven't bought before, and then go back to vanilla right after. But, he just met with Bar and he hates you because of Confederation penalty. Yeah, no, it's because he's jealous of your idea with the gyrocopters. He thought that was his thing. But good night, everybody. Happy New Year. If the year hasn't happened to you yet, it will soon. And, try not to jump as if someone's knocking on your door when midnight rolls around. It's just your very thoughtful neighbors setting off firecrackers and whatever goes with that. But good night, everybody.